Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Visibility Show. I'm your host, Melissa Groom, and I'm here today with my very special guest, Annette Densham. Hello, Annette.
Hey, Melissa.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you are a profile builder and do so much to help people get their businesses out in the world and really make a difference. But today we're talking about, you were saying to me before we came on this call that there is no room for modesty in business. So we're going to get stuck into that. If you're listening, we'd love to find out a bit about you and your business. Why don't you put in the comments below what your business page is so Annette and I can go and check you out and connect with you and find out a little bit more about your business, because we both love people and we both love helping people to get themselves out there. So I'm just going to read Annette's bio. Just bear with me.
Glasses on.
Annette Densham, you may know her as the, co-founder of the Audacious Agency with Lauren Clement. With a gypsy as a mother, Annette sought refuge in stories. What does it say? With a gypsy as a mother, I sought refuge in stories. We were moving.
Oh, well, maybe it might need some editing.
We need some editing. It's okay. We're live, and that's the way it goes. By the time Annette was 17, she had lived in 96 houses. The books in her library became her best friends, and she immersed herself in tales of courageous heroes, incredible adventures, and seeking knowledge about the world. It was no surprise when Annette chose to go into journalism, the perfect career for her inquisitive and curious mind. And after decades of writing for major print publications and online magazines on topics from business and computers to senior issues and forklifts, she moved into corporate comms. There she honed her storytelling skills, weaving words that moved people to tears, to give generously to worthy causes, and to educate, empower, and inspire. Faced with the loss of her cushy corporate role in her financial restructure, she ventured out into entrepreneur land, eager to use her 30 plus years in media to help people in small business. Working in public relations, Annette has found a passion helping equip, educate, and encourage businesses to use their stories to promote what they do across multiple channels. And she has won many awards along the way for the impact that she has made, and also, I know, helps people write award submissions and does a wonderful things to help people get out there in the world. So, Annette, thank you again for joining us.
That's cool, Mel. Thank you. When you hear, even though I wrote it, when you hear back what you've done, you kind of like go, oh, okay. I have accomplished a lot of things in my short life.
Yes. And, today we're talking about there's no room for modesty. So tell us what you mean exactly by that.
Okay. So when you are in business for yourself, you're everything, aren't you? You do the finance, you do the admin, you've got to do your social media management, the list goes on. But one of the most important things about being in business is the ability to market yourself, to put yourself out there. And this is why the Visibility Show is just so awesome, and the message that you share, Mel, because if you're not telling your story, if you're not putting yourself out there, if you're not sharing what it is that you do, why you do it, and how you do it, how the hell are people going to know you exist? Do we go into business to be the best kept secret? Because that's what a lot of people do, because they've got all of these reasons for why, I don't like social media, or I don't like Facebook, or I feel really uncomfortable. So unless you can get over that, business is always going to be a bit of a slog. So at some point you've got to go, okay, I'm going to take that leap. I'm going to share a little bit about my story, because here's what I know after, I was 50 this year, and Mel does a really great Bruce Springsteen. We'll have to play that for people. But I've learnt that if it's to be, it's up to me. I can't rely on other people to nominate me for awards or to write about me or to invite me onto shows. I have to do it. You have to do it, because people do business with people. They don't do business with the audacious agency. They do business with Annette because they know, they like, and they trust me, because I keep showing up, and I keep showing up as me, and I'm consistent in my message. I'm consistent in, how I show up. This is me. So unless, and if you don't do that, then you're always going to find it hard to get the attention that you're looking for.
I was just sharing with my clients this morning that you can't sit back and wait for people to ask you to be interviewed. You have to put your hand up. And you can see people who are out there doing things like yourself and myself that are giving people a different platform. And once you start sharing your story, people then really, those who resonate with you will want to come and work with you. And those who don't, that's okay. Not everyone's going to like us. Not everyone's going to agree with us. And that's okay. But there's so many people in the world that you can help by just sharing your story. Because I know I shared the other day on a Facebook post, my thing in my heart that's deep in my heart about saving the children, and I spoke on a Facebook Live about that. And Project Rescue Australia, is it, with Adam Whittington? I hadn't actually heard about that not-for-profit charity, but I learned about it through your Facebook group, Obsessions, the Obsession Hub. Obsessed with. Which is a great Facebook group, by the way. I can just go in there and voice my opinion, and I'm not going to get, well, you do get different people having opinions, but it's a safe place where you can go and voice your opinion. Yeah. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to be brave. I'm going to speak about this on a Facebook Live because it means something to me. And if it helps one person either watch over their children more, or know that they're not alone, or just give a voice to a topic that's so taboo and has been told to, hush, hush, and nobody wants to hear it. I mean, I've been told, I've been shut down so many times and told not to speak about it, but I have to speak about it. It's my calling. And I believe that I went through the life lessons and experiences for a reason. And that is to share with others that, I have gone through sexual abuse in my childhood, but now I've come through the other side. And it's been a massive, massive journey in being able to speak about it and not break down in tears and not feel unworthy about, succeeding in business or being loved or whatever. So I think we want to try and give people permission to just be themselves and not be afraid to share their opinions, to share their stories, and know that not everyone will like it, and that's okay. But as I said in my video, if it helps one person, then it's worth it.
Absolutely. And we're so caught up in worrying about what other people think, and that stops a lot of people, particularly when we're vulnerable with something that's happened like you have. And the story that I shared, I wrote a chapter this year in an anthology about the sexual abuse from my grandfather, and a lot of people were like, whoa, like, you can't share that. And I was like, why can't I? Because for me, it's cathartic and healing. And who knows who else I help heal by sharing that, because all of these things that we just make so taboo is, I think, one of the reasons why we have all of these fears and restrictions on our emotion and that cause mental health issues, because it's like we're just, building this big pit and we're putting more shit on top of more shit until it just festers and, we feel hopeless and useless. And when it comes to sharing, and, like, I know people are really worried about trolls and bullies, delete them. Don't give them oxygen. Move on. Or as I sometimes do, if someone gives me a hard time or calls me a name, I go, oh my God, thank you so much. That's the nicest compliment I've had all day. Big smiley face. Like, you just.
Well, the thing I say to my children is that hurt people hurt people.
They do.
So I just send my love to trolls.
Yep. It's like you don't take it on board because it's their thing. You know, it's what one of my friends said to me many years ago, and it took me a while to get it, but when I finally did, it was like, oh, okay, I understand. And she said, Annette, whether people love you or like you, it's got nothing to do with you. And it's like, oh my God, I try so hard to be liked. And like, you mean that like there's nothing that I can do about it? My best friend said to me the other day, she said, everyone loves you, Annette. And I go, no, actually, I don't think everybody does, but it doesn't bother me anymore. And I'm not going to try to make people like me who are never going to. And if they don't like how I show up and they don't like what I share, then they've got this little thing that they can use, and they can flick on by, or they can delete me, or they can unfriend me. And that's okay, because, you know, I want them to have a nice life. And if I'm disrupting that for them, so be it.
Yes. So tell us about the work that you do in building people's profile, Annette, and how you can help small business owners.
So what I do is it's a little bit like what we're talking about, is help people find those stories. And I think sometimes people get a little confounded by what that means, and they think that you've got to have this big, you know, traumatic moment in your life to have something worthy of sharing. But you don't. If you're in business, yeah, of course you can share you know, your struggles and your trials and your tribulations. But you know, if you're constantly talking about those, it can repel people. So I find those stories for people that cover a broad range of topics, business topics, human interest, you know, tips and tricks, how-tos, rants, ideas, that we can create content opportunities so that we can push it out through podcasts, through shows like yours, through entering awards, through, you know, keeping their Google My Business up to date, on their website, writing articles for online magazines and publications. Because when you are prolific with your content, and when I say that, doesn't mean that you have to write something different for all of those. Repurposing is your friend. Be a content greenie, I say. Save the planet with recycling your content. Is that you're able to drop these little breadcrumbs. So every, you know, like people are going, oh, I really need someone to help me with, you know, like my speaking. So there's an article that you've written, because they Google speakers, you know, how to be a good speaker, and there you pop up. You know, they're on a Facebook page, and you're in there offering your insights and your knowledge and your expertise freely because you want to help people. And they search within the group, and there you pop up. And, you know, you're just popping up everywhere to the moment where they go, you know what, I'm actually ready to buy. And you know what? I keep seeing that person popping up all the time. I really like what and it's a subconscious thing that we do. Like when we buy something, this is why advertising is so effective. It's called repetition. And we forget that when we're in business, that to build a profile, we have to be persistent, consistent with how we show up, what we share, where we share it, when we share it. You know, quite often people do one blog and they'll go, nobody read it. And it was like,
one video, I didn't get many views, or no shares, or no comments.
Yeah. Well, how about you do it 100 times, 300 times, and then see the type of reaction? We think that there's, you know, we see media where it's like, you know, here's, you know, Joanne Smith, who created this product, and, you know, she's suddenly in news.com.au and she sold out. You know, but what you didn't see was that backstory of how she's been plugging away for 3 years, just selling bits and pieces until that opportunity, because she just kept showing up, presented itself to her. So that's what I help people do. It's really about becoming Googleicious. So if someone goes and searches for you, you just dominate Google. You dominate because of your
I love
social.
that, Annette. Are you going to claim that? That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to see if Beyonce might sing. My profile is
No,
Googleicious.
you got to sing it, girlfriend.
I'm going to sing it. Yeah, I am going.
No.
There, I just did. We could
You need
just.
some
We could.
backup girls.
Yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh my God! Hopefully, I'm not breached copyright there at all. But that's what it is. It's like you want your profile to just shine because it's impossible to get away from you because you just keep adding value. And it's a really organic way to build your profile. I mean, like if you use someone like me, it's going to cost you whatever you pay for me to do it. But you can do that yourself. It just requires a bit of persistence and consistency, and also a bit of resistance to, what goes on between your ears when you go, oh, it's not working, or this is hard, or I don't have time, or I don't know how to write. You think of all those excuses we make to not do things.
I think I'd love a step-by-step program how to be Googleicious.
Well, as it happens, I have one of those.
Woo!
One of the things about ISO is that I sat and really reflected on 8 years in business and doing people's PR for them, and the change in the media industry, because it's changed dramatically in the last, 6 months. And also the prolificness of platforms that are out there for people to shine. And Lauren and I have come up with this really cool little quiz that people can go through to show where they're actually at in terms of how audacious their brand is. They get a report, and that report says, okay, here's all the things that we know at this stage of business you need to do. And then they go, oh, I need help to do that. We create a strategy for them that step by step, do this, then do this. Because what we realized is that there are a lot of experts out there, and it's really easy to get overwhelmed. So you might go and do, you'll go do this course, and you do this course, and you'll go to that webinar, and you'll go to that webinar, and you'll do this. And then you get to the like, I don't know what to do. So we really take an umbrella view of your brand and say, you know what? Actually, you really need to update your website and do a little bit of SEO and get your headshots done. We can't do that. You should go work with, here's some recommendations for people to work with. We've worked with them. They're awesome. You can trust them. And then when you've done that, you can come back to us. Because a lot of people go and think PR is a magic bullet. If I can only get on the news, my whole world will change.
Yes.
Well, no, it won't. It may change for 2 seconds, but unless you do all of those other things, then you're going to have your Andy Warhol moment. 15 minutes of fame, boom, news cycle picks up, carries on, you're forgotten. You don't want to be forgotten.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, what a lot of people don't realize too, and one of the things that I teach is that it's relationship building that we need to focus on, not just selling, I had a post sent to me in Messenger yesterday, and it was just like, hey, we're in the same Facebook group, and I just wanted to send you a link to my upcoming event. Like, I'd love to see you there. And it's just like, I don't know you. How about how are you? Tell me more about what you do. I'd like to get to know you first.
Yeah, to see if that is actually a problem that you need solved. I get it all the time too, Melissa. It's like people, oh, hi, here's my thing. It's like being flashed. It's like, whoa, you actually, you spelt my name wrong too. Yeah. So, how about you take the time to see what I need and how you can help me? Yeah. And, don't just buy me a drink and take me home.
Yeah, exactly. I did say to one of my clients this morning too, though, she's got a Facebook group that is very specific on why people are in there and the outcome that they want. So there's nothing wrong with sending a personal message to those members to say, thank you for joining my group. I'd like to get to know a little bit more about you. Do you want to have a chat? Simple things that we don't do that we could be doing to build that rapport.
Yep. And it's just all about, again, that consistency is don't just do it a few times, keep doing it over and over and over and over. I mean, like, how did you learn how to ride a bike if you can ride a bike? How did you learn how to be good at what you do? You just did it over and over and over again until it became an unconscious competence. You don't even know how you do it. And that's how marketing and building a brand should be, because that's your number one job in your business, is promoting what you do, how you do it, and why you do it.
Yes, and I'm constantly telling everyone they need to subscribe to the weekly rocket. Is it still called
Yes,
that?
it is indeed the weekly rocket. So every Wednesday into your inbox, you get 8 to 10 different profile building opportunities, from media call outs to awards to speaking ops to podcast interview opportunities that you can, like, if you answer one of those a week and you win one of those a week, there's like 4 touches that you're putting out there into the marketplace that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yes, so that should be in your diary. Open up your inbox every Wednesday, check out the weekly rocket, see what opportunities are in there for you to build your profile. And also the quiz on your website. How do people get to that?
It's not up there yet. We're
Okay.
just finishing off those. But if anybody is interested and just wants me to send them the link for now,
Yes.
then more than happy to do that, because it's, we're just doing some back end stuff. But the quiz is done and ready to go. So I'm happy to send you that link to share. And there is a call to action in it that says book a call. So we can do a 20-minute call to go through your results, where I can rub some salt into your wound and go, and you go, I didn't realize I had to do that, and decide where you want to go from there.
Yeah. Excellent. And the Facebook group, where can people join your Facebook group?
So they can join Rocket Launch Your Business. So that is a business Facebook group. We talk about, Lauren and I are always giving tips, and Lauren's much better at showing up in Facebook Lives in there than I am, but I'm always sharing, how to use media logos, or, how to do Facebook Lives, all of that stuff that you're kind of like going, I don't know how to do that. And then there's the As Obsessed With, which is a private group which you can join, where we have some really real conversations about topics that may not necessarily be considered, open for discussion in open Facebook groups. But we have those conversations, and we do it respectfully, and we do it with dignity, and we do it with class. And if you don't do it, then you get me with my size 11 shoe up your backside telling you to behave.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Annette, and all the wonderful work that you and Lauren are doing to help people to really share their message and their gifts with the world. You're doing an incredible job, both of you.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. And look, you do too. It's like, I have followed you for so many years and admire and respect what you do, because, sometimes people just need a little love and a push in the right direction. And, I know your 30-day video challenges have changed so many people with their confidence and their ability in putting their message out there. So big pat on the back to you too. Big kisses.
Thank you. And so our message today, everyone, is don't be modest and don't be the world's best kept secret. As Annette just said, you need to go out there and shine bright, because the world needs you, and just know that you are amazing. So anything you want to tell our viewers before we finish up, Annette?
No, and if you're struggling, reach out and ask for help. Like, you've got Mel's group, you've got our group. We are there to give you a point in the right direction. There's no point sitting there going, I don't know how to do this, when there are people who are just so happy to give you that opportunity. We do free 20-minute calls with people. We know not everybody's in a position to pay for our services, but we still want to show up and to give. And because, I'm a big believer in a rising tide lifts all ships. And if we can help each other succeed, then we all kind of benefit.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Annette. Have an amazing day, everyone. Bye.
See ya.